Hello from the Big Durian, which is Jakarta, Indonesia. I'm at the end of a filming sweep. We shot Vietnam, we shot Bali, and I'm just about to fly home today. All this traffic outside my window got my mind thinking about a little travel tip. It will probably make its way into a road less traveled, but you on my blog post and my Facebook feed will hear it first. And this is it. Your health and safety are more important than anybody's ego. And I want to tell you about two stories that really drove this point home for me. The first story occurred in a small village between Colombia and Panama. I was hiking across this stretch known as the Darien Gap. Very dangerous hike because it's thick jungle, easy to get lost. Also, there are guerrillas there, freedom fighters, and narcotraficantes. Anyhow, I'm in this very small village in a bay, and I go up to a shacky place where they have accommodations, and the lady also has a restaurant, if you will. I'm the only person staying there, and she brings out a menu, and I say, just give me your specialty, your best dish. Give me your dish. And she shows up. I'm sitting there on the dock, and I see rats kind of running around. There's very basic village. She shows up with this plate, which is shrimp covered in a sauce made of ketchup and mayonnaise. And right away, my instinct was like, don't eat that. There's no refrigeration in this town. How old is that mayonnaise? Just the smell of it and the look of it made me say no. But this lady is standing over me, and she's beaming like, oh, you like the dish? How do you like it? Try it. And, you know, I didn't want to hurt her feelings. So, and also I'm thinking, well, I paid for it. I don't want to hurt her feelings. So I had all this motivation to eat it. And I did. And it was one of the longest nights of my life. I woke up inside the mosquito net to the sound of mosquitoes buzzing outside the net, waiting for their opportunity. And I knew I was about to explode out of every hole. So I had to go to the bathroom multiple times that night, each time mauled by mosquitoes. I couldn't wait for the sun to come up. Now, if I had just been brave enough to say something, I probably could have figured out a middle ground to not hurt this lady's feelings. I don't like to lie, so perhaps the safest thing to say is, you know what, can I take this to go? Suddenly I want to take a hike, which is true. I want to take a hike to dump that shrimp in the forest. But I don't need to give her all the details. All I have to say is, can I take this to go? I want to take a hike. Now I can throw it away. It won't hurt her feelings. I'm not going to get sick. If you find yourself in a similar situation, take my advice. Just say, hey, look, suddenly I have to go. I want to go. Let me take this to go. Get rid of it. Here's the second situation. I'm on a bus in Côte d'Ivoire, Africa. And I'm in and out of sleep. The bus driver, either his friend is in front of him or some guy he's competing with is in front of him. But he's going probably, 80 kilometers an hour, 50 miles an hour, and he's 2 meters away from the bus in front of him. And everybody on the bus, including me, is either in a state of fear, a silent fear, or they're sleeping. And suddenly, my buddy stands up and he says in a very commanding voice in French, "Do you think this is a game? You're playing with my life. Slow down." And instantly, the authority of his voice made this guy slow down. It was a big lesson for me because many times I've been caught in that groupthink of like, I don't know, I mean, nobody else is saying something, I shouldn't say something. That's terrible. Like, when you feel that this is dangerous, because other people around you are not saying anything, that should be even more motivation. That is destiny saying, you must be the champion of these people. It's your turn to stand up. And what happens when you do stand up and you say, slow down? Well, like every hero, the people come behind him or her. So the whole bus was suddenly on my buddy's side. The guy did slow down. If you're in a situation, and this happens a lot, where you're in a more intimate environment, you're in a taxi or a small collectivo kind of bus, and the driver is a little too enthusiastic, you can preserve his or her feelings by saying something like, hey man, I know that you know what you're doing. I can see you're a good driver, but I get scared very easy. I have a problem with anxiety, and it makes me very nervous to go at a fast speed. So again, I know you know what you're doing, but for me, please slow down. For me, please slow down. Or a trick I use sometimes, occasionally you'll run into people who get upset if you put the seatbelt on, like it's a judgment against their driving. And my go-to line is, I promise my mom. It's no offense to you, but I promise my mom. Right? Please slow down. I promise my mom. Please, I'm putting on my seatbelt. I promise my mom. Who can argue with that? So again, your health, your safety is more important than somebody's ego. And there is a way to do it to preserve somebody's ego without lying. Just, if it's bad food you want to get rid of, you're going to take a walk. You do want to take a walk and throw it away. If it's unsafe driving, promise your mom right now that you will not put yourself in unsafe driving conditions. You can always tell the driver, I promised my mom. Okay, I hope those tips work. We got another podcast coming from Road Less Traveled. I'm going to put that up real soon. Thanks for watching. I'm Jonathan Legg.